Our planet is warming. This warming trend, driven by human activities, is disrupting Earth's delicate climate system. This phenomenon, known as climate change, poses significant threats to our environment, our societies, and our future. Understanding the science behind climate change is crucial for comprehending its implications and taking necessary action. The greenhouse effect is a natural process that keeps Earth habitable. Without it, our planet would be too cold to support the diverse forms of life we see today. This delicate balance is crucial for maintaining the conditions necessary for ecosystems to thrive. Certain gases in the atmosphere, known as greenhouse gases, trap heat from the sun. These gases include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and water vapor. They play a vital role in regulating Earth's temperature by absorbing and re-emitting infrared radiation. These gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor, act like a blanket, preventing some of the sun's heat from escaping back into space. This process ensures that the Earth remains warm enough to sustain life, creating a stable environment for plants, animals, and humans. This natural process maintains a stable temperature range on Earth, making life possible. The balance of greenhouse gases is essential for keeping our climate within a range that supports agriculture, water resources, and biodiversity. However, human activities are intensifying the greenhouse effect. Industrialization, urbanization, and the expansion of agriculture have led to an increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The burning of fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and natural gas, releases large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These activities are a major source of emissions, contributing significantly to the enhanced greenhouse effect. Deforestation, the clearing of forests for agriculture, logging, and other purposes, further exacerbates the issue by removing trees that absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Forests act as carbon sinks, and their destruction means more carbon dioxide remains in the air. The increased concentration of greenhouse gases traps more heat in the atmosphere, leading to a gradual warming of the planet. This phenomenon, known as global warming, is causing significant changes to our climate. This warming effect is disrupting Earth's climate system and causing a wide range of impacts, from rising sea levels to more frequent and intense extreme weather events. The consequences of these changes are far-reaching, affecting ecosystems, human health, and economies worldwide. Addressing this issue requires global cooperation and sustainable practices to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. The primary driver of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels. These fuels, which include coal, oil, and natural gas, are used extensively around the world to generate electricity, power vehicles, and provide heating. The reliance on these energy sources has profound implications for our planet. Fossil fuels formed from the remains of ancient plants and animals over millions of years are rich in carbon. This carbon, once locked away deep within the Earth, is now being released at an unprecedented rate due to human activities. The extraction process itself is often environmentally damaging, involving techniques like drilling and mining that can disrupt ecosystems and pollute water sources. When burned for energy, they release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, leading to a warming effect known as the greenhouse effect. This warming is responsible for a range of climate impacts, including more frequent and severe weather events, rising sea levels, and shifts in ecosystems and wildlife populations. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century, marked a significant increase in fossil fuel use, particularly coal, to power factories and transportation. This era of rapid industrialization brought about significant technological advancements and economic growth. But it also set the stage for the environmental challenges we face today. The widespread use of coal during this period led to a dramatic increase in carbon emissions, which have continued to rise with the ongoing use of fossil fuels. Deforestation is another major contributor to climate change. The removal of trees and other vegetation reduces the planet's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide, exacerbating the greenhouse effect. Forests, particularly tropical rainforests like the Amazon, are often referred to as the lungs of the Earth because of their crucial role in maintaining the balance of gases in the atmosphere. Forests play a vital role in regulating Earth's climate by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through photosynthesis. This process not only helps to reduce the amount of CO2 in the air, but also produces oxygen, which is essential for life. The dense canopy of a forest acts as a carbon sink, storing vast amounts of carbon in the biomass of trees and soil. Trees store this carbon in their wood, leaves, and roots. The growth rings of a tree can tell the story of its life, with each ring representing a year of growth and carbon storage. When trees are cut down or burned, the carbon stored within them is released back into the atmosphere, contributing to the greenhouse effect and accelerating climate change. When forests are cleared or burned, this stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere, contributing to the greenhouse effect. Forest fires, whether natural or human-induced, can release massive amounts of carbon dioxide in a short period, making them a significant source of greenhouse gas emissions. The clearing of forests for agriculture, particularly large-scale cattle ranching and palm oil plantations, is a significant driver of deforestation. These activities not only release stored carbon, but also destroy habitats, leading to a loss of biodiversity. The conversion of forest land to agricultural use often involves the use of fire, further increasing carbon emissions. Logging for timber and paper products also contributes to forest loss. The demand for wood and paper has led to extensive logging operations, which can degrade forest ecosystems and reduce their ability to sequester carbon. Sustainable forestry practices are essential to mitigate these impacts, but illegal logging and unsustainable practices continue to pose significant challenges. As forests are cleared and degraded, their ability to absorb carbon dioxide diminishes, further exacerbating climate change. The loss of forests not only impacts the climate, but also affects water cycles, soil health, and the livelihoods of communities that depend on forest resources. Protecting and restoring forests is crucial for combating climate change and preserving the planet's biodiversity. Rising temperatures, a global thermometer. The most evident consequence of climate change is the increase in global temperatures. Since the late 19th century, Earth's average surface temperature has risen by about 1 degree Celsius, or 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. This warming trend is accelerating, with the past few decades being the warmest in modern history. The warming trend is not uniform across the globe. Some regions, such as the Arctic, are experiencing warming at a much faster rate than others. This uneven warming is disrupting weather patterns and causing a cascade of impacts on ecosystems and human societies. The rise in global temperatures has far-reaching consequences. It is melting glaciers and ice sheets, contributing to sea level rise. It is intensifying heat waves, droughts, and wildfires. It is altering precipitation patterns, leading to more frequent and intense floods in some areas and prolonged droughts in others. Melting ice and rising seas, a visible threat. As global temperatures rise, glaciers and ice sheets are melting at an alarming rate. This phenomenon is not just a distant problem, it is happening right now before our very eyes. The once stable ice formations are retreating, and the consequences are far-reaching. Glaciers are large masses of ice that form on land from the accumulation and compaction of snow over many years. These natural ice reserves have been around for millennia, acting as Earth's freshwater storage. They are crucial for maintaining the planet's climate balance. Ice sheets are even larger masses of ice that cover vast areas of land, such as Greenland and Antarctica. These colossal ice sheets hold about 68% of the world's fresh water. Their stability is vital for the global climate system. The melting of glaciers and ice sheets is contributing to sea level rise, posing a significant threat to coastal communities and infrastructure. Coastal cities, home to millions of people, are particularly vulnerable to this encroaching menace. As glaciers and ice sheets melt, the water flows into the oceans, increasing their volume. This influx of fresh water disrupts ocean currents and marine ecosystems, leading to further environmental imbalances. Thermal expansion, the tendency of water to expand as it warms, further contributes to sea level rise. As the oceans absorb more heat from the atmosphere, they expand, exacerbating the problem of rising sea levels. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, the leading international body for the assessment of climate change, estimates that global sea levels could rise by up to 1 meter or 3.3 feet by the end of the century. This projection is based on current trends and could be even higher if greenhouse gas emissions continue unabated. This rise in sea level could inundate coastal areas, displace millions of people and damage critical infrastructure such as roads, bridges and power plants. The economic and social costs of such displacement and damage are staggering, potentially running into trillions of dollars. Communities around the world are already taking steps to prepare for these changes. From building seawalls to implementing early warning systems, efforts are underway to mitigate the impact. However, these measures are often costly and may not be sufficient in the long term. Reducing carbon emissions is crucial to slowing down the rate of ice melt and sea level rise. International agreements like the Paris Accord aim to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius. Achieving these targets requires concerted efforts from governments, businesses, and individuals alike. Scientists are continuously studying glaciers and ice sheets to better understand their dynamics and predict future changes. Advanced technologies such as satellite imagery and climate models are providing valuable insights into the complex interactions between ice, water, and climate. Public awareness and education are also key components in addressing this issue. Campaigns and documentaries are helping to inform people about the realities of climate change and the urgent need for action. The more informed we are, the better equipped we will be to tackle this visible threat. The sight of melting glaciers is a stark reminder of the changes our planet is undergoing. It is a visible threat that demands our immediate attention and action. By understanding the causes and consequences, we can work together to protect our planet for future generations. Extreme weather, a disrupted atmosphere. Climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, such as heatwaves, droughts, wildfires, and floods. These events have devastating impacts on human societies, causing loss of life, property damage, and economic disruption. Heat waves, prolonged periods of excessively hot weather, are becoming more common and intense. Extreme heat can lead to heat stroke, respiratory problems, and other health issues, particularly for vulnerable populations such as the elderly and those with pre-existing medical conditions. Droughts, prolonged periods of abnormally low rainfall, are also becoming more frequent and severe in some regions. Droughts can devastate crops, lead to water shortages, and increase the risk of wildfires. Wildfires, uncontrolled fires that burn through forests, grasslands, and other vegetation, are becoming more frequent and intense in many parts of the world.